Yeah, like when
Maybe
Captain Nemo
Captain Nemo.
or not Captain Nemo.
Welcome back to A Tales of Two Bros. I am Angel, and yet again we have Kimberly
Hi.
joining us today. Adan's away on assignment, and this will be our review of Lightyear. Infinity.
And beyond.
Yeah, let's do it one more time. If you can. Let's hit my eye though. Spoilers. Time of this recording, it is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all you dads out there.
And
Be it human dad or dog dad or pet dad. Still, you don't let me finish.
hey,
Jeez.
sheesh.
Which wants to cut in on me. Coming into this before seeing Lightyear, I was not looking forward to it. Can you say the same?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, on the top of my list.
Right. My issue was Lightyear, who has been played several times, at least 4 times in the movies by Tim Allen. And then to hear that Chris Evans was taking on the role. Now, I did not know the premise of the story, what they were doing, how they were approaching it, but they retconned it immediately in the beginning of the film, which was great. Also, that we saw on Disney Plus, like the making of, or kind of like the
Backstory.
not the backstory, but it was more like prepping up to what's coming up for the new movie. They didn't really tell you so much. They gave you some of the characters. In the beginning, it said that in 1995, which I thought was actually a lot longer, in 1995, Andy, he got a Buzz Lightyear toy because of what he saw in the movie. And this is the movie. So right there off the bat, we know that this is an origin story of the toy that is based off the movie. Also, watching movies, be it superhero or fantasy, and then getting the toy that's voice activated or they use the voice of the character is not necessarily of the actor who played it. Because I have done it even recently. You can go and grab a Thor toy or Captain America toy and you hit the button for they can speak, and it's not at all the same as Chris Evans or Chris Hemsworth or ScarJo or Michael Keaton, Christian Bale. Like those guys, they are not. This is another actor putting their voice in the toy line. Why? I guess to save money. Anyway, that's why I can see now how Alan's voice is different. So I was like, all right, cool.
Overall, it sounded the same to where you couldn't.
Well,
It
there's
wasn't a
similar.
yeah. It wasn't like a big impact to where you're gonna hate it or you're gonna love it kind of like. Oh, okay.
Right.
But I was disappointed that if they couldn't bring back Tim Allen to his voice, at least bring him back to do something,
Right.
to be a participant of
Right,
Buzz
like a
Lightyear.
cameo or an Easter egg.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. It would have been nice if the older version.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
That would have been a great
Yeah,
little
that'd have been awesome.
great nod to him. And the person that played older Buzz Lightyear was James Brolin, the father of Thanos. I couldn't help. I kept telling her, and she probably got annoyed with me, that this movie can't help it, but is very influential of Star Wars, especially New Hope
Again.
and Empire Strikes Back. There's a big lot of references and nods to it. Maybe some a little bit here and there of Star Trek, but man, some of the stuff they said was almost like taken right out of the pages or script from Star Wars.
Which is kinda weird because what movie was it that we just recently saw that you said the same?
A few moments later.
The page. What is it?
Top Gun.
Oh yes, Top Gun. You're right. Yes, the
Maverick.
Force. Yes, leaving in the Force. You're absolutely right. Here, it's a little bit different. It wasn't using the Force. But there was other things that were we're talking about. I like the premise, and it did also go into not time, but it almost felt like multiverse.
Yeah, past
The
and the
past and the present
future.
meeting together in at that one juncture. But before we go there, I like that we saw the same movie that Andy did. After seeing the movie, it made me want to get a Lightyear toy. And I don't have in my collection. I have a lot of toys from a lot of different things, a lot of different genres. None of the Toy Story line.
I want a socks toy.
That's the cat, right? Which was really cute. He was R2D2 and a little bit of 3CPO, more R2D2. You have also in here Taika Waititi. He was great, and the character looked a lot like him, which was funny in a way because you hear the voice, you see the character. It's like, oh my God, they just used him.
What
As a
character
source.
was he?
He was the one with the pen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That always had the pen. That was his savior or whatever. Like the pen later on became there's a name for it, the gun that saves the day. Everything that happens is Buzz Lightyear's fault, and then he's trying his whole life to rectify it, to fix it.
And also to complete the mission.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. That's his drive to complete the mission, to fix what he did wrong. And I like that it was kind of similar to in the Emperor's New Groove, where the guy has his own theme song. Or Kronk, there you go, Kronk. Yeah, when he was trying to sneak and get the Emperor or steal the Emperor, like to throw him over the cliff, he was using a theme song that he had. And here, Buzz Lightyear, we see in the Toy Story that he's talking to really nobody. It's just that him. He's just
It's like Star Trek in Captain Kirk do
right.
Star
Captain's
Log.
log.
Captain's
Yeah,
Log.
exactly right. Exactly right. And that was cool. I was like,
And
all right.
she and his partner, or who is she to him? His captain?
No, that was his partner,
His partner.
Alicia.
She even said, why are you doing that? Why do you keep doing that? It doesn't do anything.
Right. Like no one listens to him.
Yeah, no one listens to him. It's like basically doing a report that nobody's not going to read.
Right. But he explains that it's just for him to focus. I was cracking up here and left and right because I was getting the nods that they were doing. I was getting the small jokes. Was there a moment that you liked that made you laugh or chuckle?
I mean, all through the movie was pretty funny in the sense of the genuineness of it that you felt.
Mm-hmm.
I think him using all the different his, what do they call it, the arm or the
Gauntlet. There's a gauntlet where they have the tech and all this stuff, right?
yeah, to actually see them work and him using them, because in Toy Story they didn't work, and that was like a joke in the sense, like, because he fully believed that he was gonna
Right.
laser somebody,
Right.
and nothing really would happen. But to actually them happening and them working was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And there's like a similarity to where in Toy Story, Buzz Lightyear was a loner and he had trouble teaming up with Woody and the others when stuff happened like that. It was always him and like thing. And they showed that here. That was just him taking the responsibility that it could have been shared and maybe have a better outcome. And it happened in the beginning of the first scene when they were trying to escape, and later on, and then dawn onto him that not everything. No, he doesn't have to carry the whole world on his shoulders. He can spread it out. He can count on other people to help complete the mission or save the day.
I also believe that he's also one of those people who kind of goes beyond their character or their role, in the sense of like he's very not anal, but very like if he's going to do a job, he's going to do it by the book, and he's going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is also that it was just he did not allow other people to help. He's like, no, I'm going to do it, and so that's
sort of like a control freak.
Right, exactly right. Or like someone with OCD, things of that nature. Right, exactly. It's hard for me to right now to pick out which was my favorite because I enjoyed it. There was so much I enjoyed. I mean, the future Hungry Man dinners. That was cute. There was a mixture of Hungry Man and Army NASA rations that they use. That was cool.
So you
Then
just break in half and it's supposedly supposed to, like, heat up automatically.
right, kind of like those glow sticks,
Yeah, yeah.
which was really cool. Again, though, going back and like so, what's happening here is that he's trying to get everyone back. He feels guilty. He has a mission to complete. That's what the mission. That's what it was. They were supposed to from one destination reach another, but then his curiosity wants to check out another planet, and so it led them to be stranded in that planet. From there on, is him trying to find a way to complete the mission. And I kept on thinking of Top Gun Maverick. I don't know if you did. But I
Yeah.
did when he was doing the test pilot stuff. That's what it reminded me of that part a lot.
In the sense that he had to go through a certain pattern,
Test pattern to right.
and if he veered off or
Well, not just
didn't.
veered off. It wasn't just that veered off. That was the trouble the first time. But just doing that journey, which took 4 minutes, supposedly, it ended up being 4 years for everyone else that stayed. They explained it there in the movie. I can't remember the mathematical time travel thing that happened. But yeah, for 4 minutes of him, it's 4 years for everyone else. So every time he does it, he did it like what? 10 times? That's
At least.
40 years. So
Please.
40 years goes by. So everyone is getting older and he just stays the same age. So in a way, he is time traveling, but towards the future. I want to say there's a moment I liked, but what I liked his team: Izzy, Socks, Mo, Darby. They were a great team. A team of it's kind of
Well, Izzy is his
a granddaughter
granddaughter
of a
of his partner.
right. I like their dynamic. I like that each one has their strength and definitely have their weaknesses. Izzy wants to be a space ranger, but she was scared of space. And I can totally understand. And I'm not a big science guy, but I know some things. And what they talked about, they got right. The part where she was scared to jump from one port to the other in dead of space, because she said, once you push off, just keep going. You can't turn around. You can't reverse back. It's like, he's right.
Yeah.
Unless you have an object to
Jetpack or
or yes, or something to hit you to bounce off to make, you can't stop. And so I felt that. I liked also moments where you see them, they're in the helmet, but they're looking out and you see their reflection sometimes,
it's sort of
depending.
like when you watch any of the sci-fi movies where they're in outer space, like Space Odyssey. It does show their reflection.
I've not seen Space Odyssey, so I don't know
Uh,
that if they're looking out, you see their face back. This was very smart. It was very emotional for me at sometimes. I got emotional when he's seeing a hologram of his best friend that she left for him, and which was also another Star Wars touch. She's saying goodbye because he was sick. She's in and he didn't have the chance to say goodbye. Even though her as a character was not there that long, you understood their bond.
yeah.
You could relate. These two people were the best of friends, regardless of their sexes, regardless of their sexual preferences. It didn't matter.
They were partners and they were friends.
Hmm. I mean, there's really not much bad. Is there a moment or a thing he did not like?
I thought that the ending was kind of a little bit dragged on, in a
Which
sense.
ending?
Well,
By the
yeah,
way, there's like 3 end credits. If you have not seen it yet, stay to the very end. Everyone left. We stayed.
yeah.
I think we got used to the fact that anything that Disney now
Well,
does, whatever, is good to stay to the end.
it's kind of hard. Most of the people that are in the audience had kids, so it's kind of hard to maintain a child's attention when there's really nothing going on the screen.
They had trouble paying attention when there was something going on the screen anyway.
Well, yeah. So imagine
It's really,
sitting there for nothing.
la 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 la. I was like, I understand it's a kids movie, but like, come on. There's no kid in a stroller going to know what's going on anyway. All they see is spots and shapes, and they're not going to understand.
Well, a
Well,
kid in a stroller is not going to understand Jurassic Park either.
well, yeah, but was there anyone in strollers? Oh, yes, there was. Take that back. I understand you want to see the movie as an adult or teenager, but it's for another topic.
Chicken the Brick, coming to you soon.
Yes, you've been warned.
Yeah, I thought the ending kind of
Oh, I'm
dragged
sorry. Yeah,
on
you're talking about that.
a little
So,
bit.
but what aspect of it? What aspect of the ending part? Because I'm trying to.
Well, it's like when they were on the planet and they were being pursued, and then it crashed, and he got taken to the the big ship.
That's not the end, though.
Yeah, but it just kept going and going and going and going.
You felt it dragged.
Yeah, I just felt that whole scenario.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
well, I guess after he disclosed that he was him, but not his father.
it came off like that almost. I thought that
Yeah,
was gonna be his father. I was like, wait a minute, what? But no,
but
but
but after
that happened a lot later.
yeah, so after he disclosed that it was him, and then it just kept going and going and going and going and going, dragged on. I felt it's just a little bit.
I mean, I think it flowed pretty well.
There
But
anything that
yeah, I for me multiverse premise again to me, even
yeah
though it's not
that didn't quite make sense to
right.
me.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me either. That it's the same.
Because when with the older version of him explained it in a certain respect, and I kind of
Right.
understood what he explained, but then I thought a little bit more about it and was like, okay,
Yeah.
well, if there's just two of them, wouldn't there be like how many, like more than 10 of him then?
Right. It'll be several because for each mission, then it will
Yeah,
be another
different
Lightyear.
version.
Exactly. So that threw a loop, or that's a hole there, because the one time, well, it's the same mission apparently, but two different versions. Like he comes in landing, he has a successful mission this time or flight pattern because the right energy source was done.
Hmm.
But then he was like almost court martialed. But then he said, "Screw that," and
He
he
escapes.
escapes.
And he finds the ship with the robots.
Right. But on this one, he a successful mission lands, and then it's the granddaughter that saves him
Mhm.
from the attack of the robots,
Mhm.
because that in those 4 years it happened. So that felt like if it's the same pattern and the same stop, would have been a different like single story, but then somehow there's another one. So that did not make sense to me.
Yeah, the theory in that just doesn't fly with me, I
But
guess.
if it was a multiverse approach, like in Loki, where the character does one decision, then there's a time loop or time a branch comes out, then okay, that makes sense. They weren't talking about that at all. They didn't bring that up at all,
Yeah.
or the
I
chance
mean,
of that happening.
yeah, but you also have to realize this is a cartoon
No,
too, so there
true.
there you're speaking with your potential audience, or your most likely your whole audience, or
Right. But the thing is,
80% of your audience is gonna be kids who are gonna
yeah,
be
but
like,
at the same token, but they explained pretty well what happens when he goes for each pattern. That's not too complicated to understand.
"Huh?
They did it very well, even though they did a scientific words. He did the layman's terms to make it simple for all can understand. And I just wish they did that in a sense like this could happen if you go and through this time loop or time travel, this could happen. That's the only thing. Besides that, still entertaining, still have my attention. I was still laughing. I just do wish that Tim Allen was the voice of the older version. But I like it that it was the villain that he was always fighting, Buzz Lightyear, that is, fighting in Toy Story, or that was his arch nemesis. But we didn't know
Yeah,
it was Buzz Lightyear, that he was fighting himself.
yeah.
But here we do, which is nice.
Yeah, I like that they finally told that whole connection.
Right. Now we know, yes, we know both backstories.
Mhm.
Again, we just saw this, so we are jumping around here and there. After seeing this, worth watching?
Yeah, worth watching because you mentioned that we saw the Disney build up to this, and they delve a lot into Toy Story and the making of Toy Story and
Mhm.
everything. And so I remember Toy Story. I remember the whole, the feeling of, oh, toys coming to life, and it's like, here we are, or sitting here with all of your toys and stuff, and thinking, once we walk out this room, are they going to come to life and start playing around and everything, which would be kind of cool. But obviously,
Messy.
we,
Definitely messy.
yeah, but
Yeah.
obviously we would never know. And so it just goes back to, your
Imagination.
imagination, child, bringing all of that to the forefront. So at first I was reluctant only because it's like, don't I don't want to spend the time
Mhm.
you to see this movie. But then once, I saw that and once I actually seen it, I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Mhm.
This goes back to, my younger years and
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, they did have a callback to me as well. Sorry for cutting you off, but because there's so many good scenes. But one I did like was when the wings came out.
oh yeah. Yeah, because
When the wings, yeah,
that's a big thing with Buzz Lightyear.
yeah, when the wings came out, and then when he's out using them to help rescue his friends, two things happen there. Superman saving the plane from falling. We've seen it in the first Superman with Christopher Reeves, and we saw it again with Superman Returns with Brandon Roth. He did actually both. He's doing the first one at the nose of the ship, and then he goes underneath trying to help push it. In Iron Man 2, Iron Man did a little bit like that. In Iron Man 3, I believe he had a moment like that as well. So I did like that scene when he had to, and it happened was cool because he came from the ejector seat. So he hit the ejector seat, come out of the ship, and then the wings just came out for he can continue on, be it for a mission or further a better chance to escape. For me, definitely worth watching. What about for owning?
Well, because the thing about it is that if you're a true diehard Disney fan, you have all of the Disney movies, have all of the Toy Story series movies, have
Mhm.
all the Disney princesses movies. So if you're going to have all of the Toy Story movie, or how many toys are there? There
Or,
four,
or
the
no.
whole series, you're gonna have this one because
Not necessarily so.
I don't think I
No.
think so.
No,
To complete the whole
right.
story.
To complete the set right because you can see where Toy Story Buzz Lightyear got the influence. He'll say blast, the narrative, the captain's log, his kung fu stance. He'll do the same thing, and how the color scheme of the suit came about. Cool, and then you get to know like what the buttons are for,
Yep.
especially the middle one.
Yeah.
So that was cool. So that you have that here. But do you have to watch the Toy Stories? No,
Well, I
no,
don't think
but
you have to watch all four of them. I think first one is very important. Obviously, the first one is very important.
no, I understand that. But like, this is a standalone. And if you want to watch the Toy Stories and see where the influence was put in, or vice versa, since Toy Story did come out first, and then how they put it into this movie to make it make more sense of it,
Actually, I'm going to have to
fix it.
no interrupt you because I just had an angel moment. The sense of Star Wars. Okay, now I just thought, okay, when Star Wars came out
Oh,
with
don't talk about the prequels. Are you talking about the prequels? Please
well,
don't.
no, but it came out like one, two, three, and then all of a sudden they brought back.
I know. To be anal about it was 4, 5, and 6.
Okay,
Star Wars was changed later to A New Hope. They made it so yes, and then they came out with Episode 1, 2, and 3.
okay. So basically, that's what they did with Toy Story. Toy Story they came out with one, two, and three, but then they
Or
4, and then they brought what beforehand after, or what started
right, this
after.
is a prequel. This is a prequel. Like I said, this is an origin story, but this is a prequel to Andy wanting the toy because
Yeah.
he saw this movie that we saw. That's the only reference to the Toy Story franchise is that little sentence in the beginning of the movie. That's all it has to do in relation to the Toy Story. Nothing else. You don't see Woody. There's no cameo there. Or maybe there is that we didn't see or catch. They put an Easter egg somewhere here and there. Or any other characters. It was just strictly
But
Buzz
I think
Lightyear.
it's in certain respects, it's similar to the outline that Star Wars
No, yeah.
laid out. Yeah.
Well, are you talking about in a way that is a prequel to what
Yeah,
is already
yeah,
established?
yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're exactly right.
Okay.
Now they did a better job origin story than GL did with the prequels.
And who did?
George Lucas.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of the prequels at all. I find it lazy and simple.
that's a whole nother pot.
Yes, I, lazy explanations here, but here was better and emotional, and because we didn't really know about Buzz Lightyear so much, just a little bit from what was shared in the Toy Story series. In the Star Wars one, we got a lot. We understood, and then then there's a prequels made to further, in my opinion, were not needed to make. To me, the true prequel is Rogue One. You
That's a whole
can,
nother podcast.
and yeah, agree or not or disagree. I'm okay with that. I believe I did say that it is worth the watch, but I will say worth the own. I like this a lot, and yes, I will put it. If I was a big, I enjoyed Toy Story. I'm not a huge fan of Toy Story. I do enjoy them. If I was doing a collection, it would be great. Now, would I be interesting seeing a Woody spinoff? I don't know. It's a different take. It's a Western. Maybe. I stand corrected because you have the cowgirl, I can't remember her name, the horse, and the other guy was like played by Kelsey Grammer. They're part of that lineup. So maybe, yeah, probably would be Tom Hanks reprising it because with those wind up with the string, it was the actual voices. Because they'll take it straight from the movie
Yeah.
back then. Where here now, it's not from the, again, like I said before, a different
But,
actor does the phrases.
but we know that they're going to probably end up making a Buzz Lightyear too.
Right. Now, would that be a movie that Andy saw as well? Or is it just for us?
I mean, I don't question. I mean, kind of. I would
I mean,
think
it's
so
fine.
because doesn't he end up getting the bad guy also?
Yeah, but you can get the bad guy from the first movie that we have now. You can get all characters from a movie that was a hit or what have you, all characters, and that's not a problem. But I mean, if this was a one-off, I'm okay with that too.
I would, but that's the thing about it is that by the what do you call it, the end credit made it seem like this wasn't going to be the end.
Right, but I mean, we know that those two, Buzz Lightyear and Zurg, we know that there's always going to be a rivalry between Lightyear and Zurg.
Yeah, because I think also in Toy Story, they Buzz Lightyear and Zurg mention about certain things, like certain past battles or something.
In Toy Story?
Yeah.
Maybe I
So
haven't seen it. We didn't watch this. Well, we didn't watch the Toy Story movies before seeing this. That's a lot. Yeah, it's 4 movies. That's a lot. So I don't know what was mentioned. I just know that Zurg was in the Toy Story movies. How big of a role he had, I don't know.
I would definitely want to watch it again because I know there are certain things that that I miss, things that I missed seeing and things that I missed hearing.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us. That is our review of Lightyear Until next time, will be the next time. I am Angel.
Really?
Happy Father's Day. And to infinity
And beyond.